after he knew that there were 2 Stargates. Well, I guess he didn't necessarily know there were 2 Stargates, but he knew there was at least a Stargate out and that he was liable to see Phoenixes again at some point. But oh man. So here you have Hydras. One thing that is underutilized is Phoenix's abilities in a fight. Void Rays, actually, whoa, he had a lot. He had 5 Void Rays there. While Madfrog is pushing at him with these Hydralisks, he's going to push down this Expo with his Void Rays and Phoenix, and as you'll see, Void Rays, of course, with charge, will do that very quickly. So he's effectively going to base trade here. He's going to lose a bunch of shit to these Hydras. Doesn't really care that much. I think these Void Rays most definitely do damage much faster, so he's going to send his Phoenix to harass the 3rd base while he takes out the 2nd one with his Void Rays. So all in all, it's kind of a wash. Percentage-wise, I guess Madfrog is slightly ahead at this point for how much the economy was dropped. But then again, he didn't really lose many units at all. He didn't lose like his probes. He only really lost the actual buildings. We can go throw it up again. Meanwhile, he's about to do a ton of damage over here. That's just it. Phoenixes are so great. See how quickly he was able to get to this base. And one thing is that you have like 6 Phoenix here, right? Oh, that's, you know, whatever. Sure, they're great, they're going to do a bunch of harass, but they're not very good in a fight, right? Well, that's not really true, because we have 8, 16, 15, or no, we have about like 12, 13 Hydralisks here. Well, the Void Rays could get focused down by them very quickly, if not for the fact that these Void Rays can, or these Phoenixes can all pick one up each. So, I mean, they really do a great job, especially in these kind of mid-level fights here you got going on at lowering your enemy's numbers. But meanwhile, like a good Zerg, Madfrog has snuck Zerglings into the Protoss base, and they're doing damage to the probes. Hatch about half done, and unstarted. So they're both on one base again. They've both just got a lot of shit killed off. Although on the field right now, White Raw has definitely the stronger force. Although, don't count Madfrog out yet, because even if you can't see the replay bar, which now I'm holding my hand over it on my own monitor, so you can't see it anymore, he was able to scrounge up enough resources with long-distance mining and last-minute mining to mass up a fairly good number of Hydralisks. And White Raw got a little careless there. Maybe he didn't care. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. But the bottom line is he lost most of his aerial units. So, at this point, White Raw is in fact in a bit of a bind. But, oh, what's this? What do you think he's making? Is that the Graviton catapult? And are these going to be? Yup, he's making carriers. And this replay, watch how well these carriers do against Hydralisks, because I swear to you, I will tell you my new strategy at the end of this replay. But my god, this is an eye-opener. Just watch this. Just watch this. Anyway, at this point, it is basically a bunch of Hydralisks, a handful of Zerglings, versus 2 Phoenix, and dun 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 dun, a carrier with 2 on the way. I mean, there are no Zealots left that I'm aware of. It's just probes and these air units for White Raw. Madfrog still doing long distance mining, although he... Oh no, I lied. He still has minerals in his main, so he's fine. Why does he have so many in his main? He must have just transferred a lot off to his other expo soon or something. Anyway, doesn't matter. Fact of the matter is, we've got... Does Phoenix die or something? I guess they must have. This is, look at me, the commentator's like, oh, what's going on, guys? Interceptors being built up, and we will now see how well carriers do against Hydras. Let's think about it. Hydralisks, they don't do any bonus damage to anything, but, you know, they do a lot of damage very quickly, and they just took out that Void Ray, you know, just in a snap. But, oh my god, look at these interceptors go to goddamn work. I mean, Jesus Christ. This is... it's ridiculous. They do so well against Hydras. They do. And with even, like, half-assed micro, just, you know, you want to bring them into what you want to do in that I found is you want to bring them in to attack the Hydras, and then just kind of like slowly back them away so that the interceptors are in range. They're going to be doing damage, but yeah. And for the record, when going against this Hydralisk army, because of how close you have to get kind of to get the interceptors to come out in the first place, that graviton upgrade that you get at the fleet beacon is really worth it. It really is. So definitely grab that. But yeah, dude, look at these interceptors go to town. I mean, yeah, he's now down to like scraps of buildings, but Madfrog doesn't have a whole lot either. It's 35 food for Madfrog versus 20 out of 16 for Duckload Raw, and he has no Nexus. He's got nothing. This is it. He has 16 food right now, and they're 20 food right now, and that's all he's going to have. He's got a Void Ray and 2 carriers. Executor with 21 kills. He's got a Void Ray, 2 carriers, and 4 probes against the world. Excuse me, 5 probes. I think he's going to check for an expo. So he's going to be racing, apparently, against these 4 Zerglings. Anyone flashbacks that game where it was like 1 Zergling versus 1 Zealot at the end? I think it was Master Asia versus TT1 on the forum. I was going to say on the forums. I didn't even go to any forums for this game. The BNet forums. But yeah, Void Ray, great against buildings. Interceptors, great against everything. And remember, he can't build anymore, so if these interceptors get picked off by this queen or these hydras that are going to be popping out, because he did get a few minerals off that thing, then, you know, that damage output cannot be replaced. But, man, these things are going to tear shit up. He's down to 18 out of 8 food. Is he going to survive? Madfrog, 27 food out of 52, 44, 36, and now he's just going to lose more. 25, 24, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18. He's losing everything. What's Madfrog gonna do? Madfrog's gonna send all his drones to try and kill the last buildings of White-Raw. And don't forget that White-Raw has to kill all this, but then he has to find and kill these extractors as well. Actually, I lied. He did find them with his probe. He's also got to kill these extractors, so he's got a lot around the map to do, and these things are not fast. They are slower than a basic Zealot or a Marine or something. 1.8 move speed, and the Void Ray is not much better. These drones are attacking. There are only 4 Protoss buildings left. The Assimilator and the Pylon and the 2 Stargates and these battle cruisers and Void Ray are going to town, but of course White-Raw, being the professional Gosu that he is sending his carrier back to attack the drones. What on earth can Madfrog do? He has nothing that can attack air. Is he gonna GG? GG? Stop looking at the replay bar. I am gonna end up covering that sometime. Just be quiet, okay? And, yeah, drones are getting raped by the interceptors, and Madfrog leaves the game. He doesn't even GG. I wonder if this is like a ladder game, or if he's just so mad. But yeah, what a ridiculous replay. I mean, honestly, that was so crazy. The winner, 18 out of 8 food. The loser, 5 out of 32. I mean, 18 out of 8, that's intense. How can you win with like 1 pylon left and no Nexi? Oh man, that replay was awesome. So, basically, what I have done is taken this replay and adapted it slightly to a style that I like a lot. My strategy for Zerg right now is very simple, and I've only played a couple games with it, so I'm not ranting and raving to the heavens, but it's worked really well, and it's great on paper, everything, etc., etc. First, 1 gate, 1 forge, fast expand to your natural, whatever. Then, what you're going to do is, I kind of combined this with another Madfrog replay that I might actually do next. I'll probably do that very soon, actually. That was a really cool game, too. He goes Blink Stalkers and Void Race on Desert Oasis. And basically, so what I do is I go Stalker Zealot with only like 2 to 4 Zealots to cover like my chokes. And then I get a bunch of stalkers to attack, like Zerglings or whatever is going to attack me from behind them, and also to defend against Mutas, which is a very common response when you fast expand. Versus Terran or versus versus Zerg. When you expand, people like to go that air harass unit. So very often you'll see Banshees and Mutalisks, which both units bug the shit out of me. Like, unreasonable hatred for both of those units. So, that's why I get Stalkers, is for a very easy counter to that. Because if I get a bunch of Zealots, then yeah, okay, I can do better against Zerglings. But if I just have like 1 or 2 Zealots in my choke and Stalkers behind them, then Zerglings can't do any much anyways, and he literally would have to have tons of them. What if he goes Zergling Roach? Well, Stalkers cover the roaches too, so kind of like against Marauders. When you're fighting with Stalkers against roaches, what you want to do is have a bed of Zealots in front of your Stalkers, just to keep him from standing there and focusing your units down, because Zealots do a ton of damage, but they are easy to micro away from. They're slow. So Zealot Stalker is the answer to that. So what I'll do is I'll get 2 gateways, which seems to work for now. I'm playing around with the numbers, but I get 2 gateways, and then I throw up 2 Stargates. And what I'm playing around with is whether I want to go 1 Stargate and then another gateway and then a Stargate, or 2 Stargates and then 2 gateways. I don't know, the numbers I'm still playing around with, but the gist of it is you get up some Phoenix quickly and go for the rest. So 2 of the 3 games I think I've done this so far have been against Mutas. Like, the guy went Mutas. In fact, one of them, the guy went Mutas off 1 base. That was a pretty funny game. And Phoenixes just absolutely slam them into the ground. So you get up some Phoenixes, and that kind of nips the Mutas in the butt. He can't really harass you because your Phoenixes are faster. The movement speed is, I think, like 4.2. It's ridiculous. And they shoot while moving. I mean, it's just crazy. They're so great. I just love Phoenixes so much. So you get Phoenixes, not too many. I get 4. I think that's a pretty good number. You have a lot of energy to go around harassing, and you can deal with Mutas unless he gets a ton of them, in which case you get more. And here's the great thing, though, is even if he has a bunch more Mutas than you have Phoenixes, it doesn't matter. Because what you do is you're faster than him. He can't just chase you and pick you off. And you've got Stalkers in your base, and eventually there'll be Blink Stalkers. So you just kite him around, go around harassing, and meanwhile, you come back to your base, and the Stalkers attack the Mutas if they try and fight you there. So it's a really, really great counter to Mutas. So generally what happens is whether or not they started Mutas or they transition to them, they'll stay lair for a long time because they don't really need Ultralisks or anything. What have you got? You've got Phoenixes. It's not a big deal. I haven't had anybody go Corruptors, but I don't think I'd be too worried about them if I did, because I would just switch to like ground units more so. But the fact of the matter is that most people will go Hydralisks, and that's where the next part of the plan comes in, as you saw. Most people will take a third and then go Hydras. I'll harass them a bunch with the Phoenixes, and then once I get the gas and I've got a good foothold, I'll throw up my fleet beacon and start getting a couple carriers if they're massing Hydras. And so basically what you've got is Zergling, Sentry, Stalker, carriers, and it just rapes the everlasting piss out of Hydralisks. I mean, seriously, you saw it that game. Try watching like 4 carriers with max interceptors behind a freaking line of Zealots. Oh my god, they rip Hydras to pieces. Hydras only have 80 hit points. It's the same reason that High Templars are so great. You could go High Templars or you could go carriers. I mean, they're comparable gas-wise what you're going to be paying for them. And carriers are so great. They already play with that sort of mass ground, or with that sort of mass ground force you've forced the Zerg into. I think it works really well. It's been working great for me, and like I said, it's only been 3 games. I'm still playing with it, but maybe try it out. If nothing else, it's just for the fun factor of, hey, I found a strategy that involves carriers and works really well. So it's really good. And again, when I say really good, I mean it's been working for me, and I'm doing all right for myself. I'm about 25 points shy of 900 points in my Diamond League now. I'm doing okay today. I've won quite a bit of games. But yeah, it's such a crazy strat, and maybe next time I'll do that Madfrog one. Maybe I'll show you one of my replays of my strat. But either way, thank you for watching. This is Dredrick, and what did I say last time? I gotta come up with a catchphrase. Everybody has a catchphrase for when they sign off. This is Dredrick, and that's the way the cookie crumbles.